Hi, this is Brad with Baker County Trash Pickup. Today's video is going to take a look at the first garbage truck I have seen in probably a year and a half of looking that I would be interested in buying. Used garbage truck. I don't think I specified that. When I first started this business, we used a dump trailer to pick up trash. Once we got to a certain amount of clients and it looked like the business was going to continue growing, we decided to get a garbage truck. I've talked about in previous videos about why I decided to get a new truck versus a used truck, but I did look at used trucks. The biggest drawback is their reliability. If somebody's selling a used garbage truck, there's usually a reason for it. It's hit a certain number of years, a certain number of miles, or a certain combination of characteristics where the people who were using that truck to make money no longer feel like they can do so reliably. If you are a handy person and you don't mind taking on that risk, then you can get some good deals for used garbage trucks. Starting out this business, I wanted reliability and ease as the main thing I was looking for in a truck. So we decided to buy our new Isuzu pac-mac rather than buy a much cheaper used vehicle and try and get through with that. Again, the biggest reason was mainly because of reliability. We were a brand new company. The last thing we wanted was a cheap truck that could break down seriously, catastrophically, and then leave us stranded and not picking up the cans. It would look terrible. But I still do look on auction sites for used garbage trucks, and this is the first one that I seriously considered. I think it's going to be out of our price range. If you only have a few minutes of watching, it's probably going to go for more than we have to spend right now. But I do want to show it to you so I can at least show my thought process when looking at a used truck. It's going to be completely different than your thought process, but I'm thinking some information could be better than none, especially if you're looking at starting your own trash pickup business and you're trying to look at used trucks. This is some of my insights after running a garbage truck for the past year. These are the things I would look for. So this is the truck. Essentially, it's the exact same as what we have now, an Isuzu NRR with a pac-mac RL8. RL stands for rear load. The 8 is 8 yards. That's what it can hold. When it's smashed, it's a full amount of trash. Already, it's up to $33,000. Right now, it is Wednesday at 3:13 in the afternoon. It looks like it's going to end Thursday, about a solid day from now, right? So this is going to continue to go up. We put a bid in. You can see the bid history here. Let me try and find mine. Yeah, I did it just to get on the ticker. I put in 17.1. Even at 33, this is a pretty good deal. Let me show you the truck so we can take a closer look at it. So here you go, 2017 Isuzu NRR. It is currently somewhere in Virginia. It's not Pigeon Forge, it's something Forge. I forget the name of it. There is a video that goes along with it. So I'm going to stop it right here just so you can see this side profile. So if you look at the very back of the truck, what you'll see, you can see this little part that's sticking out here on our truck. This is called the hyper hopper. It adds a little bit of storage space. I'm not sure how much, but it makes the hopper bigger. The hopper is what the trash goes into. You can see this one doesn't have it. That's really the only difference aside from, being another 7 years older. So I'm turning the volume off just because it's going to be difficult to talk over. So right now they're showing the functions. A couple things that I like is how clean everything looks. the amount of wear that I can see, like my truck has more wear than what this one does. So I don't know if somebody refurbished it fairly recently and that included a new paint job, but it looks really good. Aside from, of course, this disgusting rust water, which is kind of clouded everything. You can see all the tail lights have this really nasty patina here. He's not running it in fast idle. That's why everything's so slow. Is that because he doesn't know any better or because fast idle isn't working? That I don't know. He's also holding the levers down. Let me show you. So he's holding it the whole time. That is something that I don't have to do because my controls have a detent where I just pop it in and then it will automatically perform the function until it trips out and then it resets. Again, is that because he doesn't know any better or because the detent is not working on this truck, or is that perhaps some feature that got added in the last 7 years? I don't know. It could be that this truck just doesn't have those. But yeah, like all the cylinders, they look really good. I don't see and it's a poor quality video, so I can't really tell, but the cylinders look clean. It doesn't look like there's a lot of leaks. Obviously the body paint looks used, but it's not terrible. So this truck, it looks like it's got some promise to it. You know, all the hose sleeves are still there. There are a few issues. So if you look here, you can see this is the grab bar on the left-hand side, and this is the little rack that you stand on. You can see it here as well, and these little handles that you hold on to. We're going to see in some further videos that those are not present on the right side. You know, all these pins look nice and clean. Now here's the other thing. I know how frequently I grease my machine, and there is grease everywhere around these joints. The fact that this is so clean, I do kind of wonder about how often it was greased. Like I grease mine so often that there's actually grease squirting out of these pins. It's not that you can over grease anything, it just finds its way. So it's not like a seal has been broken because I put so much in. But that is one thing I worry about, because when you're greasing it, generally you want to see the grease come out. I don't see any grease there. So is that something where they just cleaned it really well and it is greased appropriately? Or, yeah, I don't know. Same thing around this knuckle here. I just don't see any grease, which worries me a little bit. So that was the video. Obviously it showed it going front and back. There's a couple things that I wish they would have done in the video that they didn't. They did not show the tipper working at all. So can this thing lift and lower cans? I don't know. If you notice, this cylinder here is slightly extended. This is a cylinder that lifts the tailgate up. It shouldn't be extended that little bit. You shouldn't see any of that silver when it's in its fully retracted position. I don't know if this is something where they started to open the tailgate and then somebody said, no, wait, we've got all this disgusting water in there, we can't. I'm not sure why why this tailgate lift cylinder is partially extended, but they also didn't show the cylinder going up and down. So that's one thing that I would have liked to have seen, just because they didn't show anything there. 83,000 miles. That's not terrible for these little Isuzus. And here's the other thing that is interesting, is that this inside is really clean. Like, this thing is cleaner than my garbage truck. And if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know I've probably got one of the cleanest garbage trucks on YouTube, certainly, but I would even say in, you know, the top 5% of trash companies, if you rated them for anal retentiveness for keeping their trucks clean, I've got to be up there. But this thing looks nice. Like, this looks like it's in good condition. Looks like it's got a rear view camera. This looks like the screen up at the top middle right there. That looks like the screen that would show the rear view camera display. Somebody took care of this, or somebody cleaned it really well. You do see some rust. So Virginia, I'm not sure where they are, if they're getting snow every single year or if it's only sometime. But you know, the frame looks pretty good. just a little bit of surface rust on some components of this water separator of the fuel system. This bracket is where your fuse box sits, so you see just a little bit of surface rust there. But honestly, that could just be, you know, like clay dirt or something. I honestly don't know. Frame here looks good. Some of these little pieces of hardware on the air filter, they've got, you know, some surface rust. You can see the exhaust has got some surface rust, which even mine, after just a year, I think it's probably from how often I pressure wash it, but mine's starting to develop a little bit there too. That's not any kind of issue. All the plastic looks good. This is the main hydraulic hose to the reservoir. That looks good. So this was built January 2017. Again, that's about 7 years old, 7 or 8 years old, I guess. Here's your good view. You can see the handlebars here are kind of bent. Well, not kind of bent, they are bent. So that is one thing where I would say, what bent them? Was it something catastrophic? I don't know, but also the step that you would ride on here is gone. That is also something that, again, I do wonder about. Why is that missing? Yeah, I don't know what caused those to be bent so much. That's not a huge deal though, and honestly that's an easy fix too, because obviously your area would be different, but I don't even ride on the left side of the truck. I only ride on the right side. So I could even just, you know, cut the handles off of the other side and have somebody weld those on there to fix that. So I mean, overall it's a pretty good looking truck. Oh, they also don't show, because they don't lift the tailgate up, I can't see the ejector blade. I can't see you know, anything about the inside. They don't have any pictures there, so I don't know how the floor of the truck body looks, and that's kind of an important thing to know. But the description says it's very limited. It just says it's a work ready and it's in good shape. So I can't tell from that what that really means. You can see somebody here dinged the DEF system. This is not the DEF system. This is part of the exhaust system. This whole thing here is part of the SCR, Selective Catalytic Reduction System. That's something that's on diesels, but this is the exhaust. I think this is just a little heat shield, but it does look like that got dinged up. That is on the same side as those other handles that are all bent, and the floor platform that's missing. So maybe somebody hit this thing, I don't know. But again, the frame doesn't look terrible. You don't really have the quality to see these connectors in detail, but the wire loom doesn't look terrible. There's so much mud in these tires, it's hard to tell their condition. But again, they don't look terrible. The leaf spring that you can see right there, that doesn't look terrible. The wheels themselves look like they've got a little bit of surface rust, but otherwise not much. You can see it's been sitting a while. It looks like there's grass clippings right here from when somebody mowed when it was sitting. I mean, here's the underside of the truck. It looks fine. There's a little rust right there, a little rust starting to develop at the front of some of the leaf springs. Here's the littlest bit of rust here, but overall it looks really clean. So that's the truck, and that's the listing. This is the actual information they give, which is just that it's the 4-cylinder diesel Isuzu automatic transmission. It's a pac-man. That's pretty neat. They meant pac-mac. But it just says, check out the video, very clean, work ready, operational odometer, and that's it. Somebody did ask what's the reserve, and they said, bid if interested. We don't give out reserve. So right now the bid is at $33,200. $33,200. Let's just assume it went for that much. Base sales tax is 5.3. Certain regions add an extra tax, bringing it up to 7. Okay, so we're just going to say 7. So you're looking at $2,400 in taxes. $2,400, and then there's also a 10% buyer's premium, which is what, $3,300. So yeah, you'd be looking at $40,000 if you got it at this bid right now. And I'm not sure if something like this is going to be the same, but I know if I buy, the times I bought a motor vehicle or like an RV or something out of state, You don't actually pay taxes on it there. You pay taxes when you go to your DMV and register it. So that 7%, I just pulled that number. That's what my local tax rate is as well. Obviously, that would be different for you. So I did ask if I could do an on-site inspection. The folks said, yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, they didn't tell me until yesterday. Like, I asked them a week ago, and I only heard back from them yesterday. And today would have been the day I had to go fly out and look at it, which the flight was only a couple $100, and you know, rental car was like $60 from the airport. So I think it would have been well worth it to go look. But that's if it would have stayed a little lower. I think anything under 30 we would have done for sure, because this looks like this might be a nice little find, a good backup truck, but it's probably going to be a little bit more than we want to pay right now for one. So that is one thing to know, is I'm still looking, but I just, when you look at a used garbage truck, they are rough. I mean, at least a lot of the ones I've seen on Facebook and stuff. So anyways, that's a little glimpse into some of the stuff I keep myself busy with. This one looked like a very good prospect. I think whoever gets this is going to have a solid truck on their hands. And this auction is going to end tomorrow, which will be before I upload this. So I'm going to put in some screenshots of the final closing bid here. And the other annoying thing too, you probably saw that there's a reserve on it. I don't know what the reserve ends up being. I do wish if somebody wanted a certain amount for the truck, they would just put it there to begin with, because it just seems like a big waste of everybody's time. Like, if they're wanting $80,000 for this truck, like, everybody who's bid on it and has been following it for a week, it's just a complete waste of our time. So that is one annoying thing, but you know, what are you going to do? That's auctions, right? Anyways, that is the 2017 Isuzu NRR garbage truck that I was looking at and probably will not be getting, just because the price is climbing higher. And I've also seen on these auctions that the last 6 hours of the auction is when a lot of the prices go up. So we're at $33,000 right now. I think the final price is going to be much more. Anyways, hope that video was slightly entertaining. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.